Looking for a job as a corporate trainer? Maybe you've had multiple people tell you that you're really good at explaining things. Maybe you're considering transitioning from formal education. Maybe it's something completely different. Well, you're in the right place. My name's Jordon Taylor with the Corporate Training Companion, and I help new and aspiring corporate trainers build and develop the skills they need to be successful in L&D. So let me help you learn from my mistakes and talk about pro tip number 1. Get involved in L&D organizations. These organizations are great for both networking and educating yourself on the industry. The good news, it's super easy. There are many different organizations, so let's talk about a few. And don't worry, I'll put all of the links of the resources I mentioned in the description below. The first is ATD, the Association for Talent Development. It is a global talent development organization, and there are several ways to get involved with ATD. From just following them on socials to becoming a paid member, and they even have hundreds of local chapters, likely with one near you. This is a big part of how I'm involved in ATD because I sit on the board of my local chapter. But there are countless opportunities to connect with other learning professionals, both virtual and live. In the UK and Europe, the most popular option is CIPD, the Chartered Institute of Personnel Development. It's set up in a very similar way to ATD, but if you're in Europe or the UK, certainly look into that. Then there's others like the Learning Guild, as well as Training Industry, both having strong US presence, but also operating on a global scale. Which brings us to pro tip number 2, become a part of various communities. Some of them that I would recommend are the Hero Hangout. Cassie Labori does a fantastic job. The Learning Education and Training Professionals Group, which can be found on LinkedIn, and the L&D Academy. Of course, I have my own with the Corporate Training Companion, and it is a growing community where we come together for all sorts of free workshops, share resources, and generally support one another in our personal career development. Pro tip number 3. Subscribe to different newsletters. It's fast, it's easy, it's free. Some of my favorite ones are the Learning Brief from L&D Shakers, L&D Roundup by EDU Fellowship, and of course, I have my own monthly newsletter called the Monthly Debrief, where I share industry news and do a roundup of my latest videos, articles, and other free resources. Last but not least, pro tip number 4. Proactively educate yourself about corporate training. There are, of course, a number of ways to do this. Just having a conversation with AI is a great way to educate yourself. You won't really get into the day-to-day details of what it's like, but it's great information to start with. There's also Google and YouTube channels like the Spark Connect, or speaking of, this one, take a minute to subscribe. And those are 4 great ways to get the ball rolling. Now, once you've started to immerse yourself in L&D networks and communities, and you've educated yourself a bit about the industry, it's time to start applying for jobs. In the current landscape, most job postings are being spammed relentlessly by AI bots. So here's a few tips for how to rise above all of that noise. Number 1, leverage your network. I start with this because it's truly the most important and strongest way to find roles right now. The fact of the matter is that because companies are being absolutely destroyed by spam applicants, the recruiters and hiring managers can't reasonably look at each applicant. What that means is that your best bet is to ask in your network for introductions to training leaders, for open positions, for positions that might be opening in the future, for ways to stay connected, and or get introduced to the team before a position actually opens. Real relationships are the key. Secondly, don't just spam out your resume yourself. While recruiting software like Greenhouse hasn't solved the problem of fighting AI applicant bots, they do already mark applicants that apply to too many positions as spam. So if you're spamming, your application is out. You're doing yourself far more harm than you are good. Tip number 3 is you need to take it slow and really do the research before applying. Check for company fit. Is it a company that aligns with your values? Do they offer a product or a service that you believe in or actually use yourself? If so, it's probably a strong fit. For instance, I prefer working with companies that have company values that aren't just writing on the wall, where the leaders of those companies actually talk about and behave in accordance with the company values. When I worked at GoDaddy and Carvana, both of those companies did exactly that. If you want to learn more about starting a career as a corporate trainer, I offer a free online 1-hour course that you can take at your own pace. It covers everything from how learning organizations are structured to assessing job descriptions so you can find a good match for you, what to expect in your interview and how to ace it, to how to approach any experience gaps that you might have, like answers to that old question, they want experience, but how can I get experience if they won't give me the job? You'll find the link in the description below. If you found this helpful, please give it a like to help others find it as well. Subscribe to make sure you get notified when new resources come out. My name is Jordon Taylor with the Corporate Training Companion. Until next time.